How are young guys doing in the trades?
So I've spoken this once before, but I just think that Mike Rowe put it well. There's been a big push to get people out of the trades.
Yep.
And right now,
Sadly.
we don't have enough bodies to build more houses. Right?
Yep.
That's a problem. Like, we need more housing. We need we need places for people to live, whatever it is. And of course, we'll blame it always gets blamed on the workers,
Yeah.
or like we're talking about, there's not enough young people in the trades, but then we got to also bring into the fact that, interest rates are high.
Yep.
Right. So builders are going to be less inclined to build big projects right now where they're doing 10, 20 houses at a time. Right. Especially if your construction loans, like say interest rates are 8, they're going to be at 8 or 10 to 11 because of construction loans.
Yep.
So then that raises the cost because you can't just absorb the interest as a builder because the feds have raised rates, especially when our whole business model since 2009 has been low cost money. So then they change the whole business model, and then we want to complain about
but there's also
the trades, not enough young guys. Yeah. Well,
do you see young guys in the pipe to become like contractors? Or
I mean, I got a couple Gen Zers right now.
Yeah.
You communicate with them different.
LOL.
It's,
what is it like working with Gen Z?
You gotta text them.
Wait, what's it like working with Gen Z contractors?
I don't have any Gen Z contractors. I have Gen Z employees, I should say. So
like
I got a couple,
19.
One of them you can be very direct with. I think
Yeah.
how he was brought up was a big part of it. He's my little brother. So, I mean,
Oh.
like we grew up in the same household where being direct is what we do.
Yeah.
And then I got another guy, if you were to just call him and be like, you suck.
Mm-hmm.
You're a failure.
Be honest with him, basically.
He would cry.
Oh.
Yeah. Like sometimes he'd be like, hey man, I'm sorry I screwed up. I'm like, oh, it's no big deal. You're fired anyway. So, like it's not a big deal. And then he'll pause and I'm like, dude, calm down. Like,
yeah.
Settle down. Like even one day he pulled a move and I said, just drop the van off and go home. Mm-hmm. He thought he was fired. I go, no, I needed the van to go do what you weren't willing to.
It's too direct.
Yeah. And it's like, I'm not trying to fire you, but I can understand too. Construction, our communication is not that of the corporate world.
Sure.
When you call somebody, whatever, like I'm not gonna say derogatory remark, but when you say,
you don't use the word synergy a lot in the construction
our
site.
team meetings are like, hey, I need you to quit being a bitch so we can get this done.
As it should be. But communication, again, back to communication, it's changed over the years. I was behind a bar with my family business, right?
Yeah.
I watched over
the years. It was a bar, like
we had
alcohol.
a little dive bar in Kent.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I watched for the times where people would come to the bar, line up the bar, communicate, talk, buy your neighbor a beer before they come in, like they knew John was whatever it was, to where people were walking in, face glued to the phone, not knowing how to talk.
Oh,
meeting a date, meeting their affair partner or whatever it was. And they're just, I'm like, what are you doing?
People aren't interacting.
Why aren't you guys talking?
Yeah, that's for sure.
We have that on the jobs all the time with clients too.
Yeah. Like stop scrolling, you know what I mean? Stop swiping left. We're here right now. Be present.
Well, and like what you're looking for could be right in front of you, but you're here and not here.
Yeah, so you get oblivious to reading body language, right? So that maybe you were joking. But I'm like, he just
that's
said it.
Interesting.
He used words.
Yeah.
What does this mean? Because they don't know how to read you because they're used to reading this, right? Like, and everything on social media has you looking a certain way or thinking a certain way, and being as divided as we are right now, it's just.
Wait, do you let your Gen Z employees? Are they allowed to look at their phones when they're at work?
Honestly,
he's not at work, so he doesn't know.
He's not there. Yeah.
Not right now, but honestly, a lot of like I got a little focus issues. Mm-hmm. Like it's something I've always had, right?
ADD, I like it.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm right there with you.
But I'm not gonna jump due to my past and my addictions and whatnot. I'm not gonna jump on a medication bandwagon.
Yep.
I'm not saying anybody shouldn't. It's just not for me. Anyway, we can go into that another time.
Yeah.
But so for me to focus, usually something in the background in my head will help. So if I need to focus on something, like literally, like if I'm drilling cabinet handles, I'm just putting handles in. I will put my phone on sleep. I will put on a podcast or whatever music I'm jamming to at the time, and I'll just focus, right? Because I need that so that the voices in my head don't distract me, right?
Overthinking.
And what I will tell guys, I was like, hey, there's certain times you can have your headphones in, and there's other times I need you to have them off, okay?
That could lead to a hazard, though, because pods, they block out sound, right?
Correct, and I always say, too, you need to have your transparency on. It's as simple as that. you know. But like, you know, there's just certain days where it's like, hey, I need you to focus. What are you doing? You're going to be here by yourself.
Yep.
There's no one else going to be around. I need you to do detail-oriented work. So you do what you need to make sure that happens. And if you're only going to allow one person through, because you know how we can put our phones on sleep and only allow certain people to call through, I was like, I need to be able to reach you. That's all I ask.
Yep.
Add me to the
Right?
favorite.
So it's just kind of like figuring out the person's personality, because each person is going to bring different skills to your team, right? Like I got one guy who, you know, is really good at, he's like the Brian. He's the calm in the storm. The storm is me. You know, I got a lot in my head, and he'll just put his hand on my shoulder and he'll go, I need you to get what's up here out to me so that I can then use it.
Yeah.
You know, however he words it, but he'll have a way where it's like, he'll be like, slow down. Almost like I'm one of his kids.
He is pretty even keeled.
Yeah, and he'll just
like his dad. His dad's dope.
Oh.
Yeah,
oh,
and he'll just be like,
you know
hey.
those? Oh, Brian's whole family.
Ex-brother-in-law, yeah.
Yeah. So,
We're
and
still
he'll,
a big family, though. That's how it's
Oh,
supposed
that's
to be.
good. Yeah.
but
He's
it's
a Sikh?
just like, he's the one who gets the
He
communication
used
out.
to work out. I mean, I don't know if that counts.
I got a one client who got all weirded out because he was going to do the countertop template. And
He meaning Brian?
yeah, Brian.
Okay.
The client got weirded out, and
Yeah.
I look at the client and I go, I know you're worried because you think that I should be the one there. I'm going to let you know right now. You want him here because he's focused and detail oriented, and I see a flicker flying through the sky, and I go, ooh, shiny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm completely off, and I'll have lost my train of thought. You want him, not me. I'm good at getting you to a certain point, and then I have to hand it off to the guy that can take us home.
100%.
Yeah.
So you got to know what your team can do for you and learn what your limitations are and work within those limitations. So with the Gen Zers, they have their limitations, but then they're also really good at certain things.
I've been impressed with a lot of the Gen Zers who
They're less whiny than millennials. Millennials, I just want to,
yeah.
you know, you're not the best. You got that trophy because your mom made them give you a trophy.
My suspicion is that it's Gen Z dudes who are going in the right direction, and then Gen Z women are actually going in the opposite direction. They're just turning into medications and depression and anxiety, and Gen Z dudes are going into like
they are red
octagon.
pilling a lot right now.
Yeah, they're going like it seems to be
Conservative.
coming apart. So I mean, coming apart in a good way. Like they're separating in terms of like they're the Gen Z guys that I've seen who have like done done some work for me are totally focused. They're like they see the world the way it actually is, and like they don't have this sort of weird. They're more pragmatic. Now it could be a self-selecting thing, but this kind of segues into